Good afternoon, Shawe Memorial Junior Senior High School, and those watching in the Pope John family. It is great to be able to take an opportunity to say hello to my Prince of Peace Schools family. I hope that all of you are doing very well. I am just getting on because I had a couple of things to cover, and I was writing a few emails about it because we're in school, and traditionally I've done a video when we're virtual, but we're in school, and I was writing a few emails. And I thought, it may actually almost be easier for me just to express these things in a video because it might go faster. For those of you willing to watch the video, I guess everyone else is thinking, man, I wish I'd just gotten those emails. So, with that in mind, let's get straight into it. COVID. Jefferson County is currently orange. The way this is based, and a lot of people have told me, we're going to go red, we're going to go red. They usually post new colors on Wednesday. To be red, have to have two things happen. One, we have to have more than 200 cases per 100,000 residents. So obviously, to us, we have to magnify our total population in Jefferson County to determine this. Well, we have well over 200 cases to qualify for red. We have 687 per 100,000 residents. So quite a few new cases currently in terms of that. The second thing that has to happen is our positivity rate has to be above 15%. Well, currently our positivity rate is sitting at 14.1%. So we're pretty close. That's up. It's been steadily climbing. So that positivity rate is up. But as long as it stays under the 15%, we'll stay in the orange, which is good, especially for those who are trying to make sure that we're being careful. It'll be better as that orange comes down to yellow, but hopefully people are being careful out there. So a sign of it not going into red hopefully will mean that people are at least becoming aware of the issue if they're not already aware, and hopefully we'll try to fix it. And I keep saying hopefully because in COVID world, I just have a lot of hope. I'm constantly hopeful that things will be turning soon, but we will see. It is about to be Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to you from myself and everyone here to you. I hope that you have a fantastic Thanksgiving break. Whether you have chosen to participate in Thanksgiving with your extended family or not, the CDC has made suggestions not to go to extended families for Thanksgiving, and that's a decision that individual households are making for themselves. I hope that whatever you do, you have a fantastic Thanksgiving and that you stay very, very safe. Please be careful. I have a strong suspicion, just like happened a week and a half to 2 weeks after fall break, I have a strong suspicion that a week and a half to 2 weeks after Thanksgiving break, we could see some rough patches with positive cases coming in. Currently, student-wise, we're not sitting on any cases. And so we do always have students out for having the sniffles and other issues. We always have students out for being in close contact to people in their lives outside of school. And those things are going on, but we don't currently have any active COVID cases. And so I'm hoping it stays that way between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I have a feeling that post-Thanksgiving, a week and a half, 2 weeks could be a rough patch. I hope that I'm wrong. There I am again hoping. Foolish me to hope so much. If it does get worse, I have a lot of parents asking me, what's the guideline? And every time I talk to the health department about school closures and the guideline, they keep telling me, and they're right, it depends. You have to look at every individual situation differently and judge the moment that you're in. With COVID, it's too hard to just set a standard because every time that we've had any COVID-related issues pop up, they're always different. They're never the same as the ones that we had previously. But I can say this. The last time that we had to go virtual is because we had so many students that we had asked to quarantine that the educational benefit of trying to continue to teach our in-person students and our live virtual students at the same time was probably not as educationally beneficial as just teaching everyone virtually at that point. If we ever get to those numbers, if ever I feel like that's true again, then I will consider having our students go virtually. The other thing that's never happened here at Shawe or Pope John thus far is, as someone does test positive for COVID and we send all of the close contacts home, we've never had a close contact go home and test positive. So to the health department, that means that it's still not spreading in our walls. People are still getting this outside of schools. If ever I send a COVID case home and multiple close contacts are also positive, in that instance, the leadership would also consider looking at having to go virtual to ensure the safety of our students if we felt like it was actually spreading within the school. But at this point, that's never happened, not a single time. And that's in line with what both the CDC and the Indiana State Health Department say, is that schools generally are not the places where these things are spreading. So, with that in mind, and before I go on to talk about finals, let's have a joke. And I especially like this joke. In a perfect world, it's a Thanksgiving turkey joke, and I wish that I had someone in this door back here that was dressed as a turkey, and they could like pop out of the door and walk out and give the joke. But I'm just going to have to give the joke. I apologize. So, what did the turkey say to the turkey hunter in the days leading up to Thanksgiving? Quack, quack. I love that one. What did the turkey say to the turkey hunter in the days leading up to Thanksgiving? Quack, quack. If you don't get it, I apologize. You need to think about it. Ask your friends. Finals at Shawe Memorial Junior Senior High School for the semester are going to be canceled. That means that semester grades will be determined on a 50% quarter one, 50% quarter two basis. Now that split may change if something major happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas that greatly impacts our instruction. But assuming that nothing hugely major happens, that virtual continues, preferably live continues, but even if we had to go, the virtual was still strong, it'll be 50-50. Small chance that could shift a little bit if some major stuff happens. But I hope, there's that word again, that will not be the case. It's been a very hard choice because there are some students that kind of rely on finals to help them get above the threshold that they're worried about to get that exact grade that they want. I'm aware of that, and it ultimately came down to multiple things, and I said this in the email, but I wanted to take a moment to re-explain it because this email went out earlier today. I like finals. I think they're a great college prep mentality. I think that students need to be ready to do some high-stake testing. I also like judging how students are learning and what percentage of knowledge have they acquired actually over the first semester. All those things are great. They do take a lot of time. As you know, we take the whole last week, except one day before Christmas break, to give the finals. And so my choice came down to this. Any given day at Shawe, we have 15 to 40 students who are out this year because someone in their family is close contact, they're a close contact, they have the sniffles. And so that's a lot of students who, if we assume that trend will continue at finals time, that's a lot of students who are going to be missing their finals. Now, I have already decided ages ago I'm not a fan of trying to give these finals virtually. It's too important part of the grade for us to risk that mode of operation didn't negatively or positively impact the finals in an artificial way. And so I'm not a fan of trying to give these virtually. That means that every day we're going to have 15 to 40 kids miss their finals. We're going to have to reschedule that for another time, which means I would have to stretch the finals week into probably a finals week and a half with the plans of having a bunch of makeup days at the end. Doing that to ensure that those students can actually take their finals would give up even more days of instructional time, which I think are incredibly valuable in COVID world. So let's say I did all that. There would still be the chance that 2 weeks post-Thanksgiving things would hit and I'd have to go virtual as a whole school anyway. I hope that does not happen. But it could, and if that were the case, then we'd lose finals anyway, and we would have been spending instructional time potentially reviewing for those finals. So we would have already lost instructional days. It's uncertain to each individual student. Will I be here for finals? Or will I be quarantined? Or will I be sick? That's uncertain. It's uncertain if the whole school will have to go virtual during finals week. That's uncertain. I don't like uncertainty. And so to guarantee certainty, I decided that I would just cancel the finals myself. So that we know now with certainty that there are no finals. The teachers can keep barreling through, offering good instruction up until the last day before we go on to Christmas break. And so that's the cause, that's the reason. I hope that makes sense to people. If you have any additional questions about it, don't hesitate to email me. But I feel pretty good about the decision. I don't feel great because decisions are hard, but I do feel pretty good about the decision. We at least now know what to expect in terms of our last week of school here, in terms of if we're going to have finals. So if I trusted virtual finals as well, maybe that would be a different thing, but I do have a disdain for most virtual assessments that are based on an actual test that aren't project based. So with that in mind, finals are out. Thanksgiving is in right now, and so regardless of what you're doing for Thanksgiving, I've talked with the students already, you students, and I'll mention it here. I never appreciated that I feel good on a day-to-day basis until I pulled my back out. The very first time I ever pulled my back out and I suddenly couldn't move, let alone walk, was when I appreciated being able to have mobility the absolute most. COVID's done that for me. For my family at Thanksgiving, we're not going to be seeing my mother and father, my siblings. We're not going to be seeing my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law. We're going to be kind of hunkering down for the sake of the health of certain members of my family. And so COVID has required me to give up some things that I love. And while I could become embittered or frustrated about these moments, I think it's important that we take it as a moment, just like when I threw my back out or when I broke my ankle, where suddenly something is taken from me and I need to recognize that the frustration that creates for me is just a sign that I need to be especially thankful and grateful for the things that I take for granted, especially the regular ability for me to get in the car and to go see the people that I love without worrying about causing them some type of undue harm. And so I'm trying to focus on that, and that's the challenge this Thanksgiving, is that we need to focus on those things that pre-COVID maybe we took for granted. We need to thank God for those things. And we need to pray to God and hope that those things are coming again around the corner, that we'll be able to do all of those things again, and that life can get back to the normal that we knew before. That's the prayer, that's the hope. On the benefit, how beautiful is it that I am so starkly reminded of how thankful I am for my family, for the time that my family gets to spend together. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes not being able to do those things to remember to be as thankful as we are. But I truly am thankful. And students, please focus on that. If you happen to be one like me that needs to stay back, remember to be thankful. Don't be overly frustrated that you don't have it this year. Be thankful that your entire lives, mostly, you've been able to experience these situations with people that you love without really having to worry about it too much. That's a pretty incredible thing, and it's something for which I'm very thankful. Please be safe. Try your best to stay healthy for the COVID sake. And try to make sure that all of you have a fantastic Thanksgiving break. I look forward to being here the Monday right after Thanksgiving. And I hope all of you families out there remember how important it is to love one another, to be thankful for one another. And I am thankful for all of you and for these wonderful schools in which we all get to share. Have a happy Thanksgiving.